Everybody, my name is Justin Adams. I'm the fire chief here at the Boone Fire Department, and we're happy to partner with DMAC and the Boone High School and being able to offer EMS or EMT 214 class next semester. And today we just want to be able to reinforce of what we've tried to tell everybody in the last couple informational meetings is what what EMS is about, what being an EMT is, and how you can help your community, how you can help your career pathway. Just because you take EMT doesn't mean you're stuck in EMT, right? There's a lot of different career pathways that you can go through, and we'll discuss that. The first thing I want to discuss or want to do is introduce Jacob Damastis. He will be the lead instructor for this, along with a bunch of the firefighters for the skills days and those, and we'll talk about those pretty soon. But really, I wanted to introduce Jake. We wanted to talk about the EMT course. We have a handout to give you, and we have a short PowerPoint, and then we'll have a question and answer. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jacob Damastis.
Hi guys, like he said, Jacob Damastis. I've been in EMS and fire now for 8 years. Makes me feel really old. Years going on. This is a really neat opportunity. Wish I was able to take it in high school as well. Being an EMT is a lot more than just driving fast, wearing a cool uniform, and hanging out at the firehouse. Being an EMT gives you the opportunity to help someone in their hour of need and their worst day of their life. We don't call 911 when we're having a good day or when we're being happy. Usually something pretty terrible is going on. So being an EMT gives you that opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. I'm going to have Nick go around and hand out our handout over there so you guys can take a look at it. Yeah, do you guys have any questions about this course so far?
EMT, which is a national certification that goes state to state. How many people are interested in being a doctor? All right, if you're interested in being a doctor or some type of pre-med, it doesn't have to be a doctor, it could be a nurse or anything like that. I was explaining to, I think, Mrs. Greenfield, we were talking about EMT, and in the Coralville or Iowa City area, you have a lot of people that take EMT to put it on their resume to become a doctor because it looks good, you're out helping the community, you have some type of medical knowledge, those kind of things, and so that helps on that. When is the course? It'll be in the spring semester, so when do we come back to school roughly? Middle of January, first part of January?
First part.
There we go. So it's the second semester, it's every day. It'll be 7th and 8th hour, right? Oops. Get back to that, let's skip that. It'll be 7th and 8th periods, taught by yours truly right here, Jacob Damastis. What is the class? So the class is 165 hours of didactic, right? You get to listen to Jake talk. Also in those, so basically the way that we've somewhat structured it, and it can change a little bit, is there's about 3 days of true class time, and there's 2 days of the hands-on. So as we go over a chapter, let's say that we go over a chapter of trauma, right? And in trauma, there's splinting, there's C-collars, there is backboarding, all those kind of things. And so there'll be a little bit of, hey, we're going to talk about this, and then the next day we're going to do this. Same thing. The next day we're going to talk about this. The next day we're going to do this. So we might talk about C-collaring and splinting. So the next day we're going to have the skills instructors up here. We're going to have equipment, and you're going to learn how to splint a broken arm or a dislocated arm or leg, whatever it is. And then you're also going to be able to put a C-collar on somebody that's had some type of cervical spine injury. So that's how the class is kind of laid out. Again, there's some days that are going to be different because of either class time. We know that we have a couple of, during each month, we have 2 early outs. So those class periods are going to be just a tick longer, but it allows us to get more information in.
Chief, just to jump in there real quick. When it comes to didactics and the actual skills portion of things, not only are you going to learn skills as far as trauma management, but you're also going to learn how to assess patients as well. So that's not going to just help you in EMS if you have a future in EMS, but it can help you in nursing. It can help you in going into doctor school, right?
Physical therapist.
physical therapists,
trainer.
athletic trainers, all sorts of things. You're gonna be able to see patients and know how to assess patients, and you'll also learn how to talk to them. That's really gonna help you in whatever career path you end up choosing in healthcare.
Yeah, and really what it does is for anybody, it brings you out of your shell a little bit, right? For those of you that may not always be the most outgoing people, the EMS side of things will help you learn how to be more of an outgoing person, because you have to make those one-on-one contacts, and you have to learn how to deal with the public on a day-to-day basis. And so those are also life skills that are also taught inside this class. Some other things that are part of it, so we talked about that 165 hours, which those are all figured into things that we have to work out with the class, but there's also clinical hours. And so those clinical hours are done typically at an ER, right? So like Iowa Methodist West, Boone County Hospital, we're gonna try to make sure we can get students to the Boone County Hospital, Broad Lawns, and those kind of things. And one of the reasons that we really try to push, though, to get down to that metro area is they're busy every day. Not saying the Boone County Hospital isn't busy every day, but they're busy every day, right? If we have a bad patient here in Boone, guess where they go? They don't stay here in Boone generally, they go down to Des Moines. There's more definitive care, so you get to see a lot. So that's why they really like to try to get students down there, at least for one clinical rotation down to the Des Moines metros, because you're exposed to a lot more things. And they have I can tell you the equipment that they have at those Des Moines hospitals and you get to see versus what we have here in Boone, unfortunately, is just tremendous in the ability to provide care.
It really opens your eyes as far as, like he said, the ability to provide care that those hospitals have. And it really gives you a more in-depth look into how hospitals treat, how hospitals take care of people, what services different hospitals provide. It's going down to the metro is a key for this class, that you'll go in, if you go to Methodist, you're going to be doing 25 patient assessments for that rotation. You're going to see so many people, and they're going to have so many different issues, and likely, you'll have a big trauma come in, and you get to go into the trauma bay and see how those doctors and those nurses take care of those patients as well.
How many people, you got to be honest with me, right? How many people watch Chicago Med, right? How many people at Chicago Fire? A few more, yep, all right. So while I don't want to say those are fake, that Chicago Med is just like being in a Des Moines hospital. Some of the things that they do maybe is a little bit scripted, but it is the same thing. There's massive trauma. If you have a trauma patient, there's big trauma rooms, right? How many people have had to go to the ER out here in Boone? Unfortunately, right? They're kind of small rooms. They're really not set up to hold a lot of people, but they work for our community and to be able to provide an initial assessment and then decide on what happens. You get down to that Des Moines area, and it's intimidating. I'm not going to lie, it's intimidating, but it is, once you get into the role, and those nurses and everybody that is here today has had to go through their system. Those nurses down there, for the most part, take you in, and they're going to teach you. If you want to learn and you want to be a part of the system, they're going to be there right there with you, guiding you, which I think is pretty awesome. The next thing is the field hours. You need to have 36 hours of field apprenticeship type hours, and those will be done at the Boone Fire Department. So those are what we call our ride-alongs, right? You'll be able to come to the fire department, go through all the processes. Jake, what are some of the processes that we have to go through on a daily basis when you come to work?
When you show up to work, right at the beginning of your shift, you're going to go downstairs and you're going to check in all the trucks, check in your equipment, make sure that your trucks are operating the way they're supposed to, make sure your equipment on the trucks is operating the way they're supposed to. So we get out everything. We make sure our IVs aren't expired, we make sure our medicine isn't expired, we make sure our Lucas device has a full battery charge. Anybody know what a Lucas device is? So a Lucas device basically does CPR for you. It's a machine that you put on someone's chest and it pumps on their chest, so if their heart stops, we don't have to do that. That frees somebody else up to do something else. So we'll operate our equipment, make sure that runs. Then we'll go through, make sure the lights and sirens run on the outside, make sure our trucks are clean. And then from there, we're just doing daily chores and waiting for calls. So when you come and do ride time at the firehouse, be prepared to work, but we'll make it fun for you.
And we have a lot of training opportunities too with that. We have a lot of mannequins. skills maintenance that we do with our to continue our continued ed for our EMS certifications. Upon completion of this course, you will be nationally certified, right? How many people are 17 right now? Or will be 17 by the first of the year? Or 18, right? So a pretty good mixture, okay? You'll be able to take your national registry test, so you'll have a national certification. So that way, if you decide that you're gonna go to college outside of Iowa, this certification will transfer state to state, depending on what you would like to do in the career pathway. And I can't stress this enough, this can be the beginning of several different opportunities, or several different pathways to different careers, right? Like we talked about, doctor, nurse, physical therapist, athletic trainers, nurses, even with the EDGE program and what do you call her? Is it Mrs. Boz or just Boz?
Boz.
Just Boz. Everybody know who Boz is? Right? She's working over at the Ogden, doing some, I don't know how the agreement is with the Ogden deal, but she has already, through some conversations over there, a teacher has recognized that in their community they're short of emergency medical technicians and responders. And just through some conversations through this, she's already wanting to sign up and take a class herself. She'll do night classes at one of the facilities, but that's a pretty cool deal. So even if you don't take a career pathway that takes you into EMT, you can always volunteer in different departments wherever you land in your life. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Lindsay? You have a little bit more.
So often through EDGE we get both like an authentic learning course as well as an internship. The best route is for you to take either like an Advantage course junior year or a CTE course junior year to then land your senior year for an internship. And in this case, it could be a paid internship where half your day is spent outside this building working alongside professionals, getting school credit while getting paid. So pretty good gig. If you are one that is like, get me out of here, I have senioritis, it's really powerful what students walk out with that. So.
Yep. And we did have we had through the EDGE program last year, we did have a student that did an internship with us, and she went on to DMAC to be in the first combined paramedic fire degree program. And so Lainey Miller was the first one to go with that. That's a brand new program down at DMAC. She also went through the Hero Academy, which is predominantly geared towards women that want to get into the public safety realm, which would be police, fire, and any type of military. And so she was also in that first academy. So there's a lot of opportunities that way. Go ahead, Jake, you can keep going.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This class it's challenging, right? But it's fun. And this provides you with an excellent opportunity right out of the gate, right out of high school, to work in a really cool field. EMS and fire is a ton of fun. Like I said, you get to help people, you're making a difference, and it sets you on a path that allows you to grow in that field or grow in healthcare. I really recommend you take this class. I want you to be in this class. I want to learn together. Obviously, this is going to be my first opportunity as a teacher, so I'm excited, and I'm excited to learn and grow with you guys.
One of the things I would recommend, I'm not even going to pretend to get which name right back here, but we have the opportunities because they both did ride times, or they've been both done ride-alongs, and so I'm gonna mess it up. I'm not gonna lie. But can you guys talk about your experiences that you've did a little bit with a couple of ride-alongs that you did at the fire department?
Like, did you see it? Anything?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Went on a couple of fall calls, watched you do that, and then you did the hose. Yeah, we got to see how they interacted with the patients on the call, and then we got to also do a lot of the fireside too. Like, we got to try the equipment and see how all their equipment works.
So what I would recommend is if you're interested in this, even if you decide not to take the class, which we really would like you to,
Thank you.
is if you're interested, just come do a 2-hour ride-along with us. I don't know if you can do it during the school hour.
Yes, they can.
I'll sign anybody's note to kind of skip.
Me too.
But it's just come up and do a ride along with us and see what it's about. See if it's something that interests you, and go. Our days are like this, right? So I can't guarantee that we're going to have a call during the 2 hours or 4 hours that you guys are there. But what we will do is we'll still expand on everything that we do during those 2 to 4 hours that you come up and do a ride along. One of the other things I just want to stress too is, like Jake said, is it's not an easy class. It's not a hard class. It's like anything else that you just have to continue to study, right? You have to stay on top of your book work. But attendance especially is important, right? This isn't a class that you can skip on a regular basis, because for every time that you skip, those are skills that you're not going to be able to get back. Okay, those are especially those skills days when we're learning how to splint. Those are the critical things that you're going to be doing out in the field. And so just making sure that you give yourself the time commitment to that class and hours that are required. Is there any questions? Yes, no, maybe so? You guys have all the answers.
So who all is interested in taking this class?
Yes.
Sign up. Sign up. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys,
Do you have a question? Yeah.
So will be like certified in every state? How often do you have to be recertified?
Good question. Great
That's
question.
a great question. So certification process is every 2 years. You have to complete, how many hours is an EMT? 24 hours of continuing education. So you'll take a class, and the National Registry just allowed, you can do it all online. Every class you can take is, you don't have to be in person. You can just do a little online class here and there for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. And you just input that as you go along. And when it comes time to recertify, and it's a little bit of a process, but it's not too bad. You just input your hours that you took for classes, and then every 2 years you just click a button, you're recertified.
So like what we do at the fire department, we purchase a training software. So once a month, actually, Shane, firefighter paramedic Lovig is one of the guys in charge of. Every month he goes in and he assigns all of the firefighters at the fire station assignments. That way we know nobody can ever come and say, hey, we didn't get our hours in, we didn't get our required continuing ed in. And now that the National Registry has allowed everything to go online, especially since COVID, we really couldn't do a lot of in-house classes. And then the same thing is every month we have what we call skills continuing ed, skills competencies. So 1 month might be innovations, 1 month might be splinting, 1 month might be medications, 1 month, whatever. You take that textbook and you split it out to 12 months, that's what generally we're recertifying. Good question. Do you have any more?
So when you get a call, how often are you working with the families of the people who are injured?
Great question.
Yeah, that's going to be most calls, I would say. We have to kind of navigate what's wrong, and if the person is confused, then, we're not going to look to them for answers, really. We're probably going to look to the family, So I would, sure that you guys would agree with that. That's going to be 90% of the calls. We're dealing not only with the patient, but also with the family as well.
What is, so if I wanted to become an EMT and have that be my job, what's that outlook like? Is that the EMT?
Yes.
Get hired?
EMTs.
Right now you have a pulse and you have a certification, you get hired.
Yep. EMTs are needed everywhere.
Nick's our new guy. He just got hired a month or so ago, 2 months ago.
So, yeah, everywhere. Fire departments, there are strictly EMS jobs. There's strictly EMS jobs within our fire department. EMTs are needed. So, yeah.
Even though we're in the fire department, right, 78 to 85% of our calls are EMS related. And so that's a lot, right? We've done a really good job on the fire prevention side of things. We don't have as many fires as we used to, even though we're an older town and we have older houses. So about that 85% of our calls are some type of EMS related. And especially in Boone, we have a pretty aging population. How many lift assists did they do yesterday? 3 or 4. So we have a lot of people that are staying in the homes, and we're going there to help them with that lift assist. So we're dealing with the families a lot.
What else? Fantastic.
So do we get, for the class, do we get college or high school credits with it, or credits?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the counselors. So I know that, so it's a DMAC class, right? And so there's 6 college credits that are awarded through the DMAC process. I don't know how the high school deal works.
Yep, so the DMAC credits, how they transfer for high school, you'll get like 2.5 high school credits, and then you'll get your DMAC credits.
So yeah, so you're getting that dual accreditation, right? Knocking out.
Question. Doing the ride-alongs, like just signing up to just come and hang out with us for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Through Mrs. Hyman.
Right there. Yes. So most EMS jobs, you're working 24-hour shifts. That's for full-time. Part-time, I know a lot of them kind of vary between 12 and 8. I mean, you can still work 24-hour shifts as well. And I would also say most EMS jobs, if you're part-time, you're picking your own schedule. Full-time, it can range from 24 to 48, or 24 48s, which is 24 hours on, 48 hours off. Some of them are 48-96, which is 48 hours on, 96 hours off. So it just kind of depends on the job.
We've had a big shift from, it used to be working 8-hour shifts, right? To, because we can't find enough people, those shifts start to get longer, but you get more consecutive days off. So like for us, we work what they call a California swing. So we work a day, have a day off. These are all 24-hour shifts. So essentially we would work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. And then you come back and you work Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. So it's a rotating shift. Everybody does something a little bit different, depends on the community's needs. But that's a basic. There still are some services that do 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts. Our part-time availability is all over the place. We allow that flexibility of whatever they're able to do. Just like we would with the internship, if you became part of the internship, those hours would be very what we call flex hours. Yeah, our EMS only schedule right now, because we're pretty, everybody likes to have their weekends off. We have an EMS only position at the fire department, and that position is from Friday at 7 o'clock at night. Those hours are available from Friday at 7 o'clock at night through Sunday at 7 o'clock at night. And you can work any varied shifts. You can do a 12-hour shift, 24-hour shift. We've had guys that do the whole 48-hour shifts, just come in, work a weekend, make some money, and then they don't work for us for a couple of weeks, and then they come back and do that same thing again. So, good questions, though.
Anybody else? More questions?
Grandma? Nothing?
Do you have more questions? No? Okay.
Are you sure? Yeah, those are all good questions.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So for next steps, you guys, for us, those of you that raised your hand as in you're interested and you would like to speak to Ms. McIntyre or myself on a ride-along, can you just either QR code that and enter your stuff? If you don't have capabilities to QR code, send Ms. McIntyre and Ms. Hyman an email and just share what you're interested in, and we will go from there. But we need to know who you are to proceed.
And I would recommend if you're interested is getting those ride-alongs done soon. And the only reason I say that is because once the weather kind of turns, there's less things that we can do to kind of show you things out and about and how we do some of those things. So as the weather stays nice, it's a lot easier to do those ride-alongs to show you everything. So with that, I thank everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what time.
Yeah, no, 10:30. Thank you guys all for coming. Tell your friends.